Joey Wheeler and Tristan Taylor have one of the least celebrated friendships in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is strange because it may be the most ordinary friendship in the entire series. They have no ancient connection, shared destiny, or mystical object holding them together. Most of the time, they barely even say anything sincere to each other. They argue, wrestle, laugh at the worst possible moment, and immediately follow each other into danger. Their friendship survives because neither boy needs it explained. They knew each other before Yugi changed their lives, and Tristan remains beside Joey after dueling begins, pulling Joey toward a world Tristan can only watch. Before we get into their full story, subscribe if you enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Essays that take the characters as seriously as the cards. There are many more of these stories still worth revisiting. The Duel Monsters anime introduces Joey and Tristan as members of Yugi's established friend group. By the opening episode, they can stand in a classroom together and support Yugi against Kaiba without the series stopping to explain how a former bully became Yugi's closest friend. Flashbacks supply a shortened version later. The original manga gives the relationship a harsher and more useful beginning. Joey, called Jonuchi in the Japanese version and manga, begins the story bullying Yugi alongside Honda, the character renamed Tristan in the English dub. They take the box containing Yugi's Millennium puzzle pieces, play keep away with it, and mock him for refusing to fight. Joey secretly takes one piece and throws it into the school pool. The cruelty matters because friendship is already the subject of the puzzle. Yugi has spent years assembling it while wishing for true friends. The two boys standing in front of him appear to be proof that his wish is nowhere close to coming true. Ushio, a larger student who presents himself as a hall monitor, offers to protect Yugi. His protection consists of brutally beating Joey and Tristan and demanding money from Yugi afterward. Yugi sees the boys who tormented him injured on the ground and still calls them his friends. He tries to protect them from the person supposedly protecting him. That decision reaches Joey. He retrieves the missing puzzle piece from the pool and returns it. Yugi eventually completes the Millennium puzzle, and Joey begins treating him as a genuine friend. Tristan enters the group more gradually in the manga, though his existing bond with Joey is clear. They were already a pair before Yugi reached them. Their behavior was ugly, and their friendship was built around a rougher version of masculinity, where fighting was easier than admitting fear or affection. An early manga storyline gives that shared past more detail. Joey had been involved with a violent middle school gang led by Hiratani. When the gang pressures him to return, Tristan remembers the version of Joey who existed inside that world. He tries to reach him with a sash from a relay race they once ran together. It is a small object carrying a history the audience never fully sees. Two boys competing, working as a team and building trust before the Millennium puzzle entered either of their lives. Joey rejects the gesture under pressure, stomps on the sash, and strikes Tristan. Tristan keeps trying to help him. That choice becomes the basic structure of their friendship for the rest of the story. Joey is impulsive, proud, and easy to provoke. Tristan answers with insults and physical comedy until the situation becomes serious. Once Joey is genuinely in danger, the jokes disappear and Tristan moves toward him. Yugi changes the direction of both boys. Joey experiences the bigger transformation because Yugi gives him a new idea of strength. Yugi is physically smaller, hates fighting, and lacks every quality Joey once associated with toughness. He still protects Joey when there is nothing to gain from doing it. Joey begins redirecting his courage toward loyalty. He learns games from Yugi, enters tournaments for his sister, and gradually develops an identity that does not depend on winning street fights. Tristan changes too. He stops treating Yugi as a target and accepts him as the center of the group. His development receives less attention because he never becomes an important duelist. The result can make him seem frozen while Joey grows. I think Tristan's decision to accept Joey's new life is part of his growth. He could resent Yugi for becoming Joey's closest friend. He could laugh at Joey's early dueling ambitions or disappear once every adventure starts revolving around cards he barely plays. He does none of those things. He follows. This creates the central difference in Joey's two closest male friendships. Yugi gives Joey direction. Tristan gives him continuity. Yugi sees the duelist Joey might become. Tristan remembers the delinquent, the relay partner, the loud kid who often confuses confidence with volume. Joey needs both relationships because growth becomes unstable when every new achievement separates a person from the people who knew him earlier. Duelist Kingdom turns that private history into a public support system. Joey enters the tournament to pay for an operation that can restore his sister Serenity's eyesight. Yugi gives him one of his star chips so he can board the ship. Taya and Tristan stow away because they refuse to let their friends go alone. Tristan has no invitation, prize money, or dueling reputation to gain. His place in the story comes from showing up. That may sound like a small contribution in a series where dragons destroy castles and ancient spirits gamble with human souls. Yu-Gi-Oh! Repeatedly builds its largest victories from somebody standing outside the field and refusing to leave. Tristan becomes one of the clearest examples. He watches Joey lose control of duels, panic over Serenity, and reach for shortcuts. His presence keeps Joey's reason for entering the tournament close without turning every conversation into a speech. The duel with Rex Raptor contains the simplest symbol of their friendship. Joey wants to prove that he can handle the battle himself. His pride tells him that accepting help makes his victories less legitimate. During the duel, the Lava Battle Guard reminds him of Tristan and of the strength created when friends fight together. The card pairs with Swamp Battle Guard and gains power through companionship. It is not Joey's strongest monster, and it never becomes one of his famous signatures. It gives the show a direct image for what Tristan provides. Joey can stand alone on the field because somebody remains connected to him outside it. Tristan also handles the parts of the adventure that dueling cannot solve. When Joey is kidnapped by Bandit Keith's men, the group searches for him. When Pegasus's castle hides secrets, Tristan leads an exploration. When supernatural danger begins swallowing people, he reacts physically and often recklessly. These actions rarely decide the final conflict. They make sure the duelists reach the conflict with somebody left to fight for. Joey and Tristan communicate through mockery because sincerity embarrasses them. Joey insults Tristan's intelligence. Tristan laughs at Joey's mistakes. They grab each other, yell over each other, and turn minor disagreements into wrestling matches. The behavior resembles their original delinquent friendship after its cruelty has been redirected. Yugi's influence gives the aggression a boundary. Neither boy has to perform politeness, and neither doubts that the other will stay when the joke ends. Taya plays an essential role in creating that boundary. She knew Yugi before Joey and Tristan joined the circle, and she openly condemns their early bullying. Within the later group, she can challenge their behavior without being impressed by their posturing. She also understands friendship in a more verbal way. Joey and Tristan usually demonstrate loyalty by moving toward danger. Taya names the emotional stakes and forces the group to acknowledge them. Her presence keeps the two boys from becoming a closed pair built entirely around masculine competition. She makes the friendship part of a wider circle. Joey can learn compassion from Yugi, accept criticism from Taya, and retain his rough equality with Tristan. Tristan also gains relationships independent of Joey. This matters because loyalty becomes healthier when a friend can join a group without owning the other person's place inside it. Bakura widens that group further. His quieter personality changes the rhythm around Joey and Tristan, even if his direct role in their dynamic is smaller. With Bakura present, their loudness becomes one part of the group instead of its default language. The original friend circle succeeds because its members do not share a single personality, skill, or purpose. They are held together by repeated choices to accompany one another. Joey's rise as a duelist could have broken his friendship with Tristan. Duelist Kingdom gives Joey victories over Rex, Bonds, and Bandit Keith. He reaches the semifinals, faces Yugi, and proves that his presence in the tournament came from more than sympathy. Battle City raises him further. He defeats Esparoba, survives the Rare Hunters, reaches the finals, and comes within one final attack of defeating Merrick. Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey increasingly occupy the competitive center of the series. Tristan remains in the audience. The show occasionally treats that position as a joke. Tristan knows enough to react to a strong monster and little enough to require explanations. He is surrounded by teenagers who discuss timing, sacrifices, and trap combinations as if everyone received a rulebook at birth. His limited dueling skill becomes more visible as Joey improves. That imbalance reveals why their friendship lasts. Tristan never needs to beat Joey in order to remain his equal as a person. Kaiba cannot manage that separation. He organizes nearly every relationship through hierarchy. Yugi is the rival above him, Joey is the amateur below him, and everyone who does not duel might as well be furniture with opinions. Kaiba repeatedly calls Joey a third-rate duelist because accepting Joey's growth would disturb the ranking that protects Kaiba's identity. Tristan sees Joey's weaknesses more clearly than Kaiba does and reaches the opposite conclusion. He knows Joey can be careless, emotional, and absurdly dependent on luck. He respects the work underneath those flaws. When Kaiba humiliates Joey, Tristan's support reminds the audience that Joey's worth was never created by Kaiba's approval. Joey wants that approval anyway, which is exactly why he needs a friend who does not measure him with the same scale. Yugi's role also changes as Joey improves. He begins as Joey's teacher and becomes his standard. Their Duelist Kingdom match confirms that Joey wants a fair chance to test himself against the best person he knows. Their friendship carries admiration, and admiration can create pressure. Joey sometimes worries that he is still borrowing Yugi's strategies or surviving through cards his friends gave him. Tristan offers a relationship with almost no performance requirement. Joey can lose a duel, make a fool of himself, and return to the same argument they were having 10 minutes earlier. There is a kind of mercy in that ordinariness. Tristan does not need the Red Eyes Black Dragon, the prize money, or the title of champion. He liked Joey when the main thing Joey was good at was getting into trouble. Serenity brings out another side of the friendship. Joey's love for his sister motivates his entire Duelist Kingdom journey. Their parents separated, the children were divided between them, and Joey carries guilt over being absent from her life. Winning the operation money allows him to act like the older brother he wants to be. Once Serenity enters the story directly, Tristan becomes protective of her and develops an obvious crush. The crush is mostly played for comedy, especially after Duke Devlin shows the same interest. Tristan and Duke compete for Serenity's attention with the dignity of two men fighting over the last chair in a burning building. Joey reacts as an overprotective brother, which creates an easy source of arguments. Under the comedy, Serenity changes Tristan's position. Supporting Joey now includes caring for the person Joey values most. During battle, City Tristan helps escort Serenity after her operation and stays close as she enters the dangerous world her brother has been navigating. He cannot promise her that Joey will win every duel. He can make sure she is not alone while watching. When Merrick controls Joey and forces him into a deadly duel with Yugi, the friends around them become the human resistance to Merrick's attempt to reduce both boys to weapons. Serenity's arrival matters because Joey is forced to see the sister he wanted to protect witnessing what has been done to him. Tristan's feelings for Serenity create tension with Joey, though they also confirm how deep the families of the group have become connected. Tristan is no longer supporting an abstract goal called saving Joey's sister. He knows her, worries about her, and sometimes makes a complete idiot of himself around her. Joey's suspicion contains protective instinct and a lack of faith in Tristan's romantic abilities. Considering Tristan's strategy is usually to shout his feelings through a competition with Duke, Joey may have a case. Duke enters the group by attacking Joey's pride. He defeats Joey at Dungeon Dice Monsters and forces him through a humiliating punishment connected to the wager. The conflict initially places Duke outside the friendship circle. Once Yugi defeats him and Duke understands Pegasus's manipulation, he gradually becomes another ally. His arrival affects Joey and Tristan differently. Joey gains another competitive friend with actual gaming talent. Tristan gains a rival for Serenity, and somebody who can challenge his place as Joey's closest non-Yugi companion. The rivalry never becomes serious enough to threaten the group. Its value comes from making Tristan's insecurity visible. He has no signature card, tournament record, or special connection to ancient Egypt. Duke has his own game, his own style, and enough competence to participate directly in situations where Tristan watches. Tristan responds through comedy and stubbornness. He continues entering danger alongside him anyway. The virtual world arc finally forces Tristan, Duke, and Serenity to operate as a team in a duel. Nesbit of the Big Five challenges them for control of their bodies. Serenity has almost no experience, Tristan has little more, and Duke is the strongest player in the group. Tristan tries to protect Serenity and is eliminated, leaving her heartbroken. His help and the lessons he gave her remain part of the team's eventual resistance. The arc also turns Tristan into a robotic monkey for an extended joke, because Yu-Gi-Oh! occasionally looks at a supporting character's dignity and decides it has been left unattended. Even inside that comedy, the team tells us something important about the wider dynamic. Tristan and Duke can compete for Serenity while cooperating to keep her alive. Serenity can care about Tristan without becoming a prize either boy earns. Joey is separated from them, so Tristan assumes the protective role Joey would normally claim. Friendship expands responsibility. Joey's concern for his sister becomes something the group carries when he cannot. My Valentine plays a different role. She recognizes Joey's potential early, challenges his immaturity, and gradually treats him as a man capable of reaching her. Her connection with Joey creates emotional territory Tristan cannot occupy. Tristan belongs to Joey's past and everyday life. Mai sees his ambition, his tenderness, and the confidence he is still trying to build. She helps move Joey beyond the boyhood dynamic he shares with Tristan. Their friendship has room for that growth because Tristan does not demand access to every part of Joey's life. He supports Joey during conflicts involving Mai, even when Joey refuses to describe his feelings clearly. Tristan can tease him without reducing the relationship to a joke. As the series grows more serious, Joey needs people who recognize that his loudness often covers fear. Yugi and Mai understand that through emotional insight. Tristan understands it through years of pattern recognition. Adam gives the entire group a larger purpose, though his presence also produces an interesting distance. Joey develops a profound respect for him and repeatedly risks himself for the Pharaoh's mission. Tristan joins the same dangers without having Joey's dueling bond with Adam. His loyalty passes through Yugi and Joey. He trusts the people who trust the Pharaoh. That makes Tristan one of the most human measurements of the group's friendship. Ancient destiny gives Yugi a reason to enter the Millennium World. Dueling pride gives Joey a reason to confront powerful enemies. Tristan repeatedly comes along because his friends are going. He has enough experience by the final arcs to understand how badly that can end. Ignorance stops being an excuse somewhere around the first soul-stealing artifact. He keeps choosing the group with full awareness. The manga preserves Tristan's toughness more clearly because the early story gives him conflicts outside duel monsters. As the franchise becomes increasingly centered on the card game, the anime struggles to assign him meaningful actions. Joey adapts perfectly to the new structure. His aggression becomes competitive drive, his luck becomes a deck identity, and his emotional growth can be measured through duels. Tristan's strengths are harder to place on a holographic field. This is why viewers sometimes call him useless. If usefulness means winning important duels, the criticism is understandable. Tristan contributes very little to the competitive plot. That definition also accepts Kaiba's ranking system without noticing it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Constantly argues that the person beside the field affects the person standing on it. Friendship, memory, and encouragement enter duels through cards, choices, and the refusal to surrender. Tristan represents that idea in its least glamorous form. He is also allowed to be flawed. His crush on Serenity becomes selfish and performative at times. His teasing can be irritating. His courage regularly arrives before a workable plan. Loyalty does not turn him into a wise person. It gives his recklessness a dependable direction. When someone he loves is threatened, Tristan will usually make himself part of the problem until he can become part of the solution. Joey understands this because he operates in almost exactly the same way. Both boys lead with emotion, hide tenderness behind noise, and discover the plan after committing themselves to it. Yugi can calm them. Taya can shame them into behaving. Duke can compete with them. Kaiba can provoke them. Joey and Tristan recognize each other's instincts from inside. Their arguments, therefore, carry very little lasting danger. Each knows the other may say something stupid under pressure. Neither interprets every insult as a final judgment. Shared history gives them permission to be unfinished around each other. Joey does not have to become the noble version of himself that Serenity believes in. Tristan does not have to prove that he deserves a place among world-class duelists. They can return to being two school friends who communicate by threatening to hit each other, and somehow mean affection. The final role of the other characters is to stop that bond from becoming static. Yugi redirects it toward kindness. Taya gives it emotional language and limits. Serenity turns loyalty into care for somebody vulnerable. Duke introduces competition without destroying cooperation. Mai helps Joey mature beyond the boys' shared habits. Kaiba applies the outside judgment that makes Tristan's unconditional support more valuable. Atem gives their small school friendship a place inside a much larger history. None of those relationships replace what Joey and Tristan have. Yugi becomes Joey's best friend in the deepest moral sense. Tristan remains the friend who knew him before the transformation. The distinction does not require jealousy. Joey's life becomes large enough to contain both. I think that is why their friendship feels convincing, despite receiving so little direct analysis from the series. People rarely sit down and explain the oldest friendships in their lives. The evidence appears in habits. Tristan boards a ship he was never invited onto. Joey thinks of him through a monster built around partnership. They insult each other, protect each other's families, and continue standing side by side after the story has given Joey far more status than Tristan. Joey becomes one of the best duelists in the world. Tristan never comes close. The gap changes how the plot uses them and leaves their personal relationship intact. Tristan does not need to catch up because friendship was never the tournament they were competing in. Long before Red Eyes, Battle City, and the Egyptian gods, they were two rough kids running a relay together. One of them eventually reached stages the other could never enter. Whenever Joey looked back, Tristan was still carrying his part of the race.